A London girl is dead following a one-car crash last night. Is collecting welfare better than mining coal illegally? We'll have a special report. And WYMT TV hit the airways bright and early Saturday morning, fulfilling a long dream of one man. Details of these stories and all the news, sports, and weather now on the debut newscast of 57 Mountain News, Monday, October 21st, 1985.
Weather with Karen Park. Sports with Gary Johnson. News with Steve Crabtree. 57 Mountain News at 6. Good evening. What started as a vision for Kentucky Central Television Executive Vice President Ralph Gabbard became not only reality over the weekend, but a part of broadcasting history. Before sunrise Saturday morning, the all-new WYMT TV hit the airways. Some said it couldn't be done, but as we learn in this report from Ralph Baldwin, 4 months and 13 days after ground was broken, WYMT TV began what is hoped to be a long tenure of serving the people of the mountains.
WYMT personnel, family, and friends stood by anxiously awaiting Saturday morning as the clock ticked down to sign on. At 6:55 a.m., Kentucky Central Television Executive Vice President Ralph Gabbard, General Manager of both WYMT and Lexington's WKYT, pushed the button to put WYMT TV on the air and begin a new era of broadcast history in the mountains of eastern Kentucky.
This is a dream come true. I'm just extremely excited about the opportunity to serve the people of all the mountains. And we're going to try to provide a good product. And seeing that thing come up this morning was something else, I guarantee you.
Ground was broken June 7th for our news station, with construction workers and station engineers working long hours to meet the projected on-air date of October 14th. However, a week of bad weather and high winds slowed installation of the more than 1,000-foot tower and antenna high atop Peary County's Buffalo Mountain, a facility that will send nearly 1.5 million watts of power radiating throughout the mountains. But bad weather wasn't the only obstacle to overcome in mountain broadcasting, as Hazard Mayor and former owner of WKYH-TV, Bill Gorman, notes.
We have been blessed by deep valleys and long rivers, and the geographic location that we've had and the topography of the area is such that it's been very hard for people to communicate with one another.
Along with a strong broadcast signal being sent out from Buffalo Mountain to at least 25 counties, WYMT's 16-member news staff has fanned out throughout the mountains to help provide that communications. 2 members of the news department will be based in our Big Sandy Bureau, covering Pike, Johnson, Floyd, and Martin counties. Microwave links with the Big Sandy, Frankfort, and Bluegrass bureaus will provide live coverage of events for inclusion in the 6 and 11 p.m. WYMT newscast. And it all comes together here at the all-new studios of WYMT Television, located in Jacklot Hollow, overlooking the city of Hazard. We're your mountain television. Ralph Baldwin, 57 Mountain News.
And a very sincere thank you to everyone here in the mountains that have given us such a warm welcome. Some tragic news this evening. A 16-year-old London youth is dead following a one-car crash last night 10 miles east of London on Sasser Road. State police say Andrea Alestra's car plunged some 200 feet over a hill, throwing the youth from the vehicle, then pinning her underneath. The youth was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other passengers were treated and released at London's Marymount Hospital. Illegal coal mining is a topic which seems to dredge up some harsh feelings between the illegal coal miner and the government. Our Brenda Bryan presents both sides of the coin, the government versus the illegal coal miner.
Since July 1982, there have been 20 illegal coal mines shut down in the state of Kentucky, and only a handful of illegal coal mines remain. This can be attributed to the crackdown on illegal coal mining by the Department of Mines and Minerals. Is there a lot of illegal coal mining going on right now in Kentucky?
No, not really. What we have under surveillance is 2 mines. One of them is a small strip job and the other is a small underground mine, and these are very minute type mines. One of them is working 2 people and the other has 3 people employed. And it's real hard for us to catch them. They're mining late at night and on the weekends, but we have got them under surveillance. We have posted a closure order. Once we catch them, they'll be guilty of a Class D felony, and we can go in front of the grand jury and indict them.
One illegal operator of a so-called dog hoe or small mine was recently quoted under the guidelines of confidentiality that selling his illegal coal was the only way he could afford to feed his family.
This is the United States, supposed to be a free country. And I don't think some guys up in Washington or Frankfurt should tell me, oh, don't you go to work tomorrow? And I'm not really trying to get food stamps. I've not tried. It might be a better way to do it. But I don't think so.
No doubt the conflict between the illegal coal miner and the government will continue. What will never change, however, is the fact that this lump of coal will remain important to both sides, but in different ways. Brenda Bryan, 57 Mountain News.
A Jackson County High School principal has been charged with fourth-degree assault in an incident involving him and a school employee. A substitute cook at the school, Rita Gabbard, says Principal Russell Bowen pushed her and hit her, and she was called to his office October 11th. Bowen says Gabbard was called in because she was allegedly driving too fast on school grounds. He says she became violent and that he did not hit her. Bowen says the charges are trumped up, but Gabbard says she wants him out of the school system.
This is happening. I wish he's out of there so he wouldn't do nobody else like this, because I don't believe nobody should have to go through what I went through.
Our Chris Swindell will have an expanded report on 57 Mountain News at 11. Just ahead, our Big Sandy News Bureau reports, including information indicating arson is suspected in the fire that destroyed a Floyd County building. That and more coming up. Stay with us.
Who's got the vehicles to get you there looking sharp? Paul Brewer Motors at Ned, Kentucky, that's who. Brewers has the popular Chrysler and Ford cars and trucks that America loves to drive. Come test drive the economical Dodge Omni or the ever-popular Ford Mustang. Our Dodge trucks are Ram tough, and the Ford Rangers are made to handle the tough mountain terrain. And that's not all. Brewers has a full line of used cars. Let your free spirit loose and come check out this classic Corvette. Paul Brewer Motors, halfway between Hazard and Jackson. We can get you there.
People's Exchange Bank in Beattyville takes great pride in being a progressive member of the community, offering the most modern banking services. People's Exchange Bank provides all types of loans, including auto, business, home improvement, and others. And People's Exchange Bank offer a variety of checking, savings, and investment accounts, including People's Plus. You'll enjoy their friendly personal service at People's Exchange Bank in Beattyville, with 2 locations, Main Street and Route 11, featuring convenient drive-through service. Member FDIC.
Isn't it good to get back to the country? You get a taste of the country every time you bite into famous recipe country chicken and vegetables. Folks around here just love our country cooking.
The slaw, the green beans, all of it's good. I've never gotten anything here yet that wasn't good.
We think the prices are more reasonable than any of the other chicken restaurants we've tried.
Taste of the country.
Do all of your music shopping on the right note at Stacy's Music in downtown Hazard and at the Grandview Plaza. Do you play? They've got Martin guitars, Showbud, Sigma, Gibson, and Area Pro 2, Gold Star and Kentucky mandolins, plus Suzuki keyboards. Stacy's has the latest and greatest LPs and cassettes and all the hit 45s. And movies are always a hit. Stacy's has VCR rentals and current movies and VCR sales. And now a new service department downtown. Play it your way. Stacy's.
An update on the A.T. Massey strike. An investigation is in full swing into a Floyd County fire and raising money for Pikeville College. Here now with details, Big Sandy Bureau Chief Janice Sword. Hi, how are you doing today?
Just fine, Steve. The Kentucky State Police have begun their investigation into a fire that destroyed the former location of Inland Steel at Wheelwright in Floyd County. The ashes continue to smolder from the 3-story brick building that caught a fire Thursday night about 9:30. Firemen from 14 volunteer fire departments in Floyd and surrounding counties battled the blaze until Friday afternoon. Spokesmen from both the Wheelwright Fire Department and the Wheelwright Police say they are sure it was arson. Although the United Mine Workers strike against the Massey Coal Company has been going on for over a year, there seems to be some hope for a settlement in the next few months. Big Sandy reporter Scott Charles has more.
Massey spokesman Don Blankenship says talks about selling the company have been underway with 3 organizations, and speculation is that Consolidated Coal Corporation is the front runner.
I don't know if you'd classify it most or not, but these properties have been the subject of conversation of sale long before the strike, and even 3 years ago when I first came here there was conversation with some Japanese companies.
Bill Davis, UMW Local 1440 president, says the rumor about the Massey buyout by Consolidated makes him very happy.
Well, really, Consul has always been a company that was easy to work with. They never had a lot of labor problems. And that's the kind of people we want to work for, that we can give an honest day's work and get an honest day's pay and no hassle.
As things stand now, both sides are cautiously optimistic that a settlement may be reached by early 1986. Until then, both sides will stay with the positions they started with more than 1 year ago. Scott Charles, 57 Mountain News, Pike County.
Pikeville College is about $100,000 richer today. Over the weekend, the college auctioned off 2 houses on Elm and Poplar Streets in Pikeville. The house on Elm Street sold for $50,000 and the one on Poplar Street for $49,000. College President Bill Owen said the college didn't need the houses any longer and the money would be used to pay off some debts. The college plans to sell 3 more houses this fall. And Steve, that's news from the Big Sandy Bureau tonight.
And we appreciate you making the drive down here tonight, Janice. As we should point out to our viewers perhaps one more time, I'm sure we did earlier, our Big Sandy Bureau will be coming to you live each night from Harold, Kentucky. That's just near the Floyd-Pike County line, as I understand. I haven't been up to visit your office yet, but I'm sure they'll be providing a valuable service to us and, of course, to you, the viewer. Well, one of the services provided viewers from 57 Mountain News, in addition to the Big Sandy Bureau, will be capsuled reports to be aired nightly from our Bluegrass Bureau. Here's David Lander with an overview of today's Bluegrass news.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening, everyone. Lexington police have put the final pieces together to solve a 1983 murder case. Earl Thomas McCoy was shot and killed at his home on March 13, 1983. According to reports, a man entered the McCoy home at 1236 Standish Way and began firing shots at McCoy. Police say the man who killed McCoy was 40-year-old Billy Birch Cox of Corbin. It's been confirmed by police that the 1983 murder was a contract killing, a revenge murder, and that Cox was paid to commit the crime. The case was to be presented to the Fayette grand jury October 28th. Officials anticipated that Cox would be indicted for capital murder, but Friday, an unexpected turn of events. Lexington police detectives went to Eddyville State Prison, where Cox was serving a 32-year sentence for various offenses. Cox was made aware of the grand jury presentation. Approximately 2 hours later, he committed suicide by hanging himself. Meanwhile, the investigation of a mysterious Montgomery County death with Harlan County ties continues. This afternoon, officials identified the body they found in the basement of a Mount Sterling home last week. State medical examiner Dr. George Nichols and forensic anthropologist Dr. David Wolf conducted the autopsy. The results confirm the remains are those of Patricia Craig Howard, who lived in the home. Mrs. Howard disappeared in November of 1981. The autopsy indicates she was killed by a blow to the head. A warrant has been issued for the arrest of her husband, 49-year-old Grant Howard of Harlan, Kentucky. The investigation into the incident began 2 years ago. I'm David Lander for 57 Mountain News, and that's the report from the Bluegrass Bureau.
And thank you very much, David. In addition to our Bluegrass Bureau, 57 Mountain News will be providing you with reports from our Capital Bureau in Frankfort, in most cases live reports from the Kentucky State Capitol. Coming up, Karen Parks will fill us in on whether the rain will stay or go. Stay with us. Weather and more news is coming up.
When you come to Bruce Walters in Pikeville, you already know the bottom line. With our rock bottom guarantee that we will beat any other dealer's current advertised price on any new car or truck in stock. Choose from Fords, Mazdas, Lincolns, Mercurys, and Volkswagens. Plus, we have the largest used car inventory in Eastern Kentucky with the same low prices for everyone right on each windshield. Get to the bottom line and save every time at Bruce Walters, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But if it is broken, you need the best parts to do the job right. Fraser's Auto Supply in Whitesburg has the parts for your car, truck, and industrial automotive needs. And you don't have to wait for the boat to come in when your foreign car needs work. Fraser's has a big supply of foreign parts in stock. Foreign or domestic, Fraser's can get the part you need in one day. Fix it with Fraser's Auto Supply.
Let DJ's Lawn and Garden help you warm to the task of home heating on these chilly autumn mornings. You don't have to be a lumberjack to cut the cords with a John Deere or Poland chainsaw, then stoke up a warm morning Kindlewood or King wood-burning stove. DJ's has the largest display in the area. DJ's also has water pumps and portable generators in stock. At DJ's, you're assured of quality, low prices, and service after the sale. DJ's Lawn and Garden on Combs Road between TG&Y and the airport. Hazard's power equipment experts for 12 years.
Playing championship baseball requires superb pitching, hard hitting, and expert fielding. That's the winning spirit at Michelin. We've got the winning spirit. From the XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for vans, four-wheel drives and pickups, and our all-season performer, the XA4. At Michelin, we make quality radios because so much is riding on your tires.
And it's with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce to you Karen Parks, who's going to be our weather person here at 57 Mountain News. In your behalf, I'll be picking on her on occasion when she rains on my weekend like she did yesterday, but we'll get to that part later. First off, I see a letter here addressed to you.
That's right. I got a very nice letter from Gil Russell, and he's the officer in charge of the operations at the National Weather Service office in Jackson.
Right.
And he wrote to welcome myself and the whole station into the mountains of eastern Kentucky. Also said he looks forward to working with me in the case of severe weather becoming a problem in eastern Kentucky. So also I look forward to working with them because they are a highly skilled and respected weather office.
I know Gil Russell personally, a true professional.
Nice man, very nice man.
Well, what's the weather hold in store? You rained on me yesterday.
We almost made it through the whole weekend, but it started yesterday, and we have about a 40% chance late throughout the day today and on into tonight, and then about a 40% chance tomorrow.
Well, tell me some more about it.
Okay. The picture you're seeing now was shot by our own Scott Charles, and it was shot at the Big Creek in Floyd County. As you can see, it was raining quite a bit today, as was the case in much of eastern Kentucky today. Let's take a look at our climate data. The record high was set in 1933, where the temperature was 86 degrees, and the low was set in 1952, where the temperature was 22 degrees. Precipitation for October, 4 67/100 of an inch. Taking a look now at our national map, we have a cold front that's stretching down from Canada. It's bringing quite a bit of precipitation to the western portion of the United States. Also, some snow is expected. They have a winter storm warning for the folks in the higher elevations around the Sierra Nevada as well as the Lake Tahoe area. They're expecting about 2 feet of snow there. This low pressure system's also causing a lot of the precipitation you're seeing on the western coast. It's centered around the southeastern portion of California. And again, we have some rain showers reported in the eastern portion of Texas, and that's a result of this cold front. Now, this is the frontal system that moved through Kentucky yesterday, bringing quite a bit of rainfall. We saw some of that rain today. We should see about a 40% chance tomorrow, mostly clouds, some light drizzle expected. A high-pressure system's moving in from the coastal region on the eastern half of the United States, centered around North and South Carolina. Now, some thunderstorms have been reported scattered through Florida. And this frontal system is expected to move on through the state and become a stationary front. It's right now mainly centered along the southeastern portion of Kentucky. Let's take a look at some temperatures across the 57 Mountain viewing area. 53 degrees with rain in the Tri-Cities area, 62 at Big Stone Gap, 60 degrees at Pikeville, Prestonsburg, and Paintsville area, 57 in Jackson as well as Hazard, Harlan 60 degrees, 70 at Middlesboro and Pineville, London, Corbin, Somerset area, 66 degrees. Right now, the humidity is 96%, barometer is 30.09 and steady. The winds are from the north at 5 miles an hour. The forecast for tonight calls for cloudy skies with a 40% chance of rain. The low should be from 50 to around 55. Tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a 40% chance of showers. Again, the high should be 65 to 70. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Again, a 40% chance of rain. The low should be in the 50s. The extended forecast for Wednesday through Friday calls for Partly cloudy skies again. The highs should be near 70s, and the lows should be around 50 to 55.
Boy, you sure know how to get off to a good start. Rain, 40% chance, 70% chance. I know. There's nothing you can do about it. I understand. It beats a foot of snow on the ground anyway. Okay, thank you very much, Karen. The Cardinals lead the World Series 2-1. Gary Johnson will have highlights from Game 2 last night in Kansas City, and we'll also look at the mountain area's #1 high school football team. Sports is next.
We're the Superior Food Mart in Whitesburg, and here are just some of the ways we live up to our name. Plenty of parking space, excellent customer service and carryout, and a good variety of produce and name brand food items, plus a large selection of frozen foods. Here's Big Joe's weekly special. Crisco shortening, $1.99 for a 3-pound can. 8-roll pack of Coronet bathroom tissue, $1.99. And Green Giant corn, peas, or niblet corn, 3 for $1.89. Superior Food Mart in Whitesburg.
The people at White Chevrolet in Manchester believe that when you're a dealer in a small community, you sell to your friends and neighbors. To stay in business, you've got to give your customers more than one good deal and then take care of them with quality service afterward. White's has on its lot a full line of Chevrolet cars, including Cavalier, the economical #1 selling car in America. Check out also their selection of S10 Blazers and pickup trucks. And White's has a line of quality used cars as well. White Chevrolet in Manchester. They'll give you a good deal and then another.
When you buy a Curtis Mathis, you're getting the quality that you expect from a leader in the industry. You also get the famous Curtis Mathis 4-year warranty, which includes 4 years coverage on electronics, picture tube, and labor. Ask for a copy of our warranty. Choose from a wide selection of Curtis Mathis consoles, combos, stereos, portables, and VCRs. Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Center, a little more expensive, but worth it. 339 Main Hazard, Highland Plaza, Prestonsburg, and 355 South Main, Harlan.
And now for sports, Gary Johnson, a true UK, true blue fan. That's my kind of guy. But getting on to baseball, looks like the Royals are having their problems.
Steve, I'd hate to be a Royal right now. The Royals are down 2-1 and heading towards St. Louis. In Major League Baseball, the World Series teams are taking a full-day break to make the 1-hour flight from Kansas City to St. Louis this afternoon. And for the first time this season, the Kansas City Royals are happy to be leaving Royals Stadium, not because they don't like it there, but because they have been losing there. Saturday, the Cardinals slid past the Royals 3-1 for a 1-game lead, and Sunday, well, the Cardinals did it in the playoffs to stun the Dodgers, and they did it again to surprise the Royals, winning in the game in the 9th inning. Now we pick it up in the Royals Stadium in the 9th inning. Royals up 2-0. The Cardinals waste no time. Jack Clark lines a single to left, and that shot scores Willie McGee, and the Redbirds run makes the score 2-1. But the Royals are still up in this ballgame. Now later, with 2 outs and the bases loaded, the Cards' Terry Pendleton takes Charlie Leibrandt down the left field line for the bases clearing double. Clark will score easily, followed by Tito Landrum right there, and right behind him is Cesar Cedeno rounding home, hitting the deck. Another run scores. That puts the Cardinals up 4-2 in the top of the ninth. Jeff Lottie comes in on relief, shut down the Royals, and the Cards take a 2-game lead in the Busch Stadium. Like I said, I'd hate to be a Royal right now. In auto racing news, the Winston Cup point standings lead now belongs to old number 11, Owensboro native Darrell Waltrip. And after a NASCAR victory this weekend, Waltrip is a step closer to the Winston Cup title with a hard-earned victory in the nationwide 500 stock car race in Rockingham, North Carolina this weekend. Now the two-time point champion grabbed first place with 31 laps remaining and beat Ron Bouchard by nearly a second last weekend. Harry Gant finished third with 4th place going to Dollar Bill Elliott. He stands second to Waltrip in the Winston Cup chase. There are just 2 races to go in the Grand National season, and Waltrip leads the standing by 15 points. In high school football, the regular season is coming to a close, and perennial Mountain Power Corbin is, as usual, sitting on top of the Class AA rankings. The Redhounds sport a perfect 9-0 record. Bill Doug Taylor has a look at the class of AA football.
Success has become a tradition at Corbin High School. It was established years ago and has been enhanced in recent years.
Well, I think our success is tied up in our program. And by that statement, I mean we constantly are working with our youngsters, both in the off-season. We put a lot of pressure on our youngsters to work during the weight program, and you know, it kind of starts by the time they're in the 8th grade. They're involved with us doing various type things. But basically, I think it's the weight program, the amount of work we put into it, and I really and truly believe that we have an excellent football staff. We've worked together for approximately 18 years.
Those years of hard work are paying off in the win column this season, and heads-up play has led to a big plus in the takeaway-turnover ratio.
That's a correct analysis right there. We have turned the ball over a lot fewer than our opponents have, and therefore it's resulted in a lot of points. The Pikeville game the other night was a lot closer than what the score indicated. They scored first, and it made it 8-0. We come back and put 2 touchdowns on the board. It was 16-8 at the half. Our second touchdown was a result of their turnover, and then started the third quarter, they turned the ball over twice.
There's no doubt the Red Hounds are powerful, but Coach Adams prefers to take them one at a time.
We have yet to play a district game. Most people don't realize the Somerset-Middlesboro tradition behind the rivalry. We have got to play our best football game of the season next week.
The coach won't say so, but it very well could be that the road to the state championship of Kentucky runs through Corbin, because these dogs can hunt. Bill Doug Taylor, 57 Mountain Sports in Corbin.
A tough mountain team as always. Well, you know him as the voice of the Wildcats. Kaywood Ledford, the play-by-play announcer for the University of Kentucky, has been a part of the Big Blue sports tradition as much as the teams themselves. Kaywood will be with us on 57 Mountain Sports 5 days a week. Welcome back to the mountains, Kaywood Ledford.
General Manager Ralph Gabbard asked me if I'd like to be a member of the WYMT sports team. Would I? I was born and raised in these mountains. I'm looking forward to visiting with you each day on this program. Since these comments are new to you, I'll mention a few things you've missed that you can look forward to now. You would have known, for example, that Chiefs Crown would win the Kentucky Derby, that Spend-A-Buck could only win in New Jersey. You would have learned that Georgetown would win the NCAA championship. Villanova shouldn't even have been invited. Last April, I fearlessly predicted that Gene Bartow would replace Joe B. Hall as the Kentucky basketball coach, and that Eddie Sutton would have no inclination to leave Arkansas. Had this station been on the air just 10 days ago, you would have learned that the Los Angeles Dodgers would win the National League pennant. They had better pitching than St. Louis. Kansas City, well, I get one right now and then. 2 games now into the World Series, despite St. Louis fans begging me to lay off, the Cardinals have it in the bag. St. Louis took both games in Kansas City, and the next 3 games are scheduled in St. Louis starting tomorrow night. The series will never get back to Kansas City. The Cards will win it at home. I'm really looking forward to these visits, but I'd like to ask for your help. Will you give me some suggestions? I invite you to even disagree. We'd like to talk about the things that interest you. Will you drop me a line? Kaywood Ledford, 120 Kentucky Avenue, Lexington, Kentucky, 40502. I'm really looking forward to these visits. I hope you are too. I'm Kaywood Ledford.
Okay, it's good to have you with us, Steve.
It's an honor.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. We'll be back with more news right after this. Stay with us.
Come on in. The Culligan's fine.
Mom, do we wash these in hot or cold Culligan?
A Culligan water conditioner saves money on soaps, reduces dishwasher spots too. So maybe today you call it water, but tomorrow?
The future calls.
Hey, Culligan man.
The future calls for Culligan.
First Commonwealth Bank's Anytime Banker is very convenient. It lets you do your banking anytime. If you're going out of town, you can use your Anytime Banker card to do your banking before you go. Or if you need cash while you're out of town, you can use your Anytime Banker card wherever you see the financial exchange symbol. Whether you're in Lexington or Martin, First Commonwealth Bank's Anytime Banker card puts 24-hour banking convenience at your fingertips. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC.
Come shop around. Ed Walters Motors in Prestonburg has more lines than most area dealers. A dealer compatible with the many transportation needs in the mountains, from stylish comfort to vehicles for rugged terrain. With a selection of Cadillac, Pontiac, and Olds automobiles, GMC trucks and AMC vehicles, including Wagoneer, Alliance, and Jeep trucks, you can do all your shopping around at one spot. And Ed Walters' line of used cars means even more quality selection for the choosiest buyers. So come shop around.
Hazard police are investigating an early morning robbery at the Town and Country Shopping Center on Old Route 80. The Hazard Sewing Center was broken into at about 3 o'clock. 8 Timex watches worth about $100 were stolen.
A vending machine in front of the Kroger store had also been tampered with. $40 is missing from there. Police have a few leads, but no suspects at this time. And that just about does it for the debut newscast of 57 Mountain News. A reminder, Gary, Karen, and I will be back at 11 with an update. Stand by now for the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Have a good evening.